I'm here to do an introduction to pivot tables. We have a large set of data here, over 6,500 rows. If I go to the bottom, you'll see we have a bunch of information here. It could be regarding any type of a product. It could be a distributor, a store, a restaurant, a gas chain, but it's showing data here by the volume of sales, by the week of the month here, week 1, week 2 of the month here. You have the date, the year. Kind of need to know the data. Before you do the pivot table, good idea to know what's in the data that you're analyzing here. It's just called sheet 1. What we're going to do, we could name sheets if we need to, going through the core basics. To do this, you have to be any place within the data table. Two things that I will add: don't have columns in between. Like if I put a column in between here, it's only going to do a pivot table. It will include because you have that column 1 there, but this is set up as a table here. But don't have blank rows in between. It will mess up the thing. So what I am going to do, I click inside here, I go into the Insert tab, I click on Pivot Table. You can use the recommended ones. I'm using Office 2016. It knows the range. It named the table here, range here. We'll put marching ants there, and you always want to go into a new worksheet. So you have this new worksheet here. You could call it pivot table if you need to. Not rushing through this, trying to get into the core here. So what we want to do here, you're going to click over here. It shows all the pivot table fields. I'm going to click inside year. I'm going to check it off. It's going to go into values, okay? However, I want it in the columns. I drag it up to here. You could drag these words down into there, which is really the easiest way to do it. And then I'm going to put in center into the rows. So it's showing information. We want to know what the volume was there. So it would go into the values area. So it's showing all our numbers. So we're getting a good snapshot of the 2 years by these different regions. And we're going to go and filter things down. So what I want to do, I'm going to drag month into here. And it shows the thing here. You could do the filtering there. Zoom this up a little bit so you can see better. And with the month there, I want to know what's going on for January, April, and July. I click inside here. If I just click on January, it shows 1. However, I want to see several months. I go into here, that little funnel. I say select multiple items. And I say January, April, and July. Check them off. Okay. So it's saying multiple items. I'm going to talk about this in a little minute here, where I want to know what is going on. Now, what I want to do next, if I remove the filter, I click here on check. Everything is back to the original data. Now, I'm going to go into I want to know what happened just on a specific weekday. I click on weekday, drag it underneath month. I want to know what happened on Tuesday. And if I want to format numbers to make them a little easier to read, super easy. Just highlight those columns, comma, reduce. If you get the railroad tracks, just widen the column. Much easier to read. And now what I want to do here, I want to know what happened on Tuesday and Wednesday. I go into here. I check off these two. It's saying multiple items. Next thing here, I want to do a slicer for the month. So that is pretty easy. And what I like, because it's just saying multiple items here, I'm on this tab here where it says Analyze. I say Insert Slicer. What I want to do is show the month. Check it off. So I can move it. If I want to enlarge, it's like a little graphic in PowerPoint or Word. Drag it down there. And the easy way to do this, I just click on December. I can click on any month. You're getting this instantly. Pretty cool. Now, if I wanted to see what's going on in January, December, I hold down the Control key. I didn't mean to do all of those. Control. So it's showing the 2 months there. So it's a lot easier. Like if I were to print this, it's going to show it display there. So that way, if you're giving stuff to the boss, he could see information for like a couple of months of each year. You could also change the design. I'm on the options here for the slicer tools. I can make it orange if I want to. Now what I want to do here, if I want to do the weekdays to display that, I just click inside the data here, analyze, insert slicer, and I'm going to just say weekday, okay, and then I could just move it to where I want to put it, and again I could just make it match, color coordinate it. So we've got all that information there. We go back here. Now this goes behind here. You could change things around even further if you wish. One thing, if you were to change things in here, the data, I go into here, this is important to know. Like let's say somebody misspelled Atlantic. Now watch this. I go into this sheet here. It doesn't show Atlantic here. So if I click on Analyze, if you do things here, you're getting more data. You've got to refresh it. I've got Atlantic now. And that's not a good thing. I could go back here. Some idiot accidentally spelled it wrong. Type in Atlantic. Go back into here. And I would just click on Analyze, refresh. We got rid of that misspelled thing. I've seen that more than once. You added rows. If you say change data source, it goes into here, daily volume. It's a named range here. What you would have to do is just add more rows to the bottom. It would say like A1 through H6000, and you could just change that 6000 to 6,800, so that way it includes new data. So that's a story with the basics of creating a pivot table. I just created a graph by just pressing the F11 key. So you got a little bonus there.